When I was 21 years old, I lived at home with my mother and stepfather in a six-family house in Newark. Back in those days, when I heard there was a party, I would just show up uninvited. We were crash parties, and they always let us in. My friends and I were the cool girls. We were different. We dressed villagey. I had never been to Greenwich Village, but I wanted to be villagey. I dressed bohemian back in 1957. I wore black stockings, a peasant blouse, a smart skirt, lipstick, and eyebrow pencil. I was a fake smoker. I would call myself smoking, but I really didn't smoke. I was just doing it for the fashion. I would hold a long black cigarette holder in my hand, but I never inhaled. I just puffed. When guys would walk up to me at a party, they would walk up into my big cloud of smoke that I had puffed up. I would tell him my villagey philosophies. Yes, self-expression is the key to self-development. Then we put on a record on the record player and do the mambo or cha-cha. Those were the big popular dances in 1957. One of my friends was a great dancer. The thing to drink was apple wine. I couldn't drink because I was the driver, but the people drank apple wine at the parties. After about a year of crashing parties, something happened. Girls stopped letting me and my friends into their parties. We cool girls had been stealing all the attention and all their boyfriends. The guys would always hover around us at the parties. My friends and I, we couldn't get into a party one night. So we didn't have anything to do. We were bored. So we went to White Castle. I was driving up and I bumped my car into another car. I got out of my Pontiac and this young, handsome black guy comes over to us. "Go get a license," he yelled. He was our age, in his 20s, so I yelled at him, "I can drive better than you. What are you talking about?" On our way out of White Castle, the guy and his friends were still there. So I said to him, "You want to try me? You want to see how I drive? Let's race." We headed to the Garden State Parkway. My friend in the back seat, not the good dancer, the other one, she said, "Stop, don't do it." But I didn't listen to her. So there we were, speeding on the Garden State Parkway, and my friends were screaming. Thank God there was not too much traffic. The Garden State Parkway had just opened. It was new. And it was late, about 10 or 11 at night. I kept up with him. I was still in the race. But then it started to dawn on me. I didn't know where I was going. I was driving into unknown areas. I could lose everything behind this. Foolishness, my life, my good job at Western Electric, everything. The sensible side of me started to take over. I got off the Garden State Parkway at the next exit. I drove my friends home. They didn't get hurt. I went back to my family's six-family house. When I saw my mother in the kitchen, I gave her a hug and a kiss on the cheek. "What's wrong?" she said. I couldn't tell her how dumb I was. I couldn't tell her how I almost crashed my car with my best friends inside. I just looked her in the eye. I said nothing. But she and I, we both knew that I was lying. My senior year of high school, I got an infection from using deodorant feminine spray. My mother took me to the doctor, and the doctor gave me these suppositories to clear up the infection. He didn't examine me because I was a virgin, and back in the 1950s, doctors would not give you a examination of your lady parts if you were still a virgin. So I took the suppositories home, but I could not figure out how to use them. How do you put them in? Where did they go? I tried for hours. I couldn't find a place where suppositories will go in or a baby will come out. I told my mother. My mother thought it was funny. "You're a virgin, huh?" she said. I said, "Yes." So she sat down and talked to me. She tried to describe in words to me where I should put the suppository into my body. She says the same place where a baby comes out. I could not find anything down there. Finally, I went to another doctor. He said, "Throw the suppositories away and just sit in a soaking bath." A sitz bath, like after you have a baby. So he showed me how to do that, and that worked out. I got rid of the infection. But that doctor didn't examine me either. No gynecological exam. Doctors didn't do that. Doctors didn't examine you down there if you were a virgin. I lied and said I was 18. My friend and I got jobs at this jewelry factory on Broome Street in Newark in 1955. I was 16. I didn't take anything serious. My mother said I should get a job to grow up. I got in trouble in school. I used to drive my English teacher, Miss Mooney, crazy. I would make funny noises in my nose. And then I'd look around and say, "Who did that? Did you see who did that? Stop that." Meanwhile, the whole class would be laughing. We got jobs at this jewelry factory on Broome Street. We got the raw material unfinished into our area, and then we dipped it in this stuff and sent it off to the finished area in the finishing department. We weren't allowed in the section of the factory with the finished jewelry. Well, one day me and my friend, we decided to take a few unfinished pieces and we snuck them in our pockets to take home. The man in charge caught us, but he didn't fire us. He knew we were under 18. We were happy we didn't get fired. But we were even more happy the day we got paid. After work, we always took our little bit of money and we went on a shopping spree in downtown Newark. At Woolworth's, S. Klein, or Arbox. We didn't go to Bamberger's because Bamberger's was too expensive. Well, one day at Woolworth's, this little old lady came up to me. She was asking me something. She had a thick accent. "Very such and such street. Very such and such street." I forget which street she wanted. She was so tiny and so old. Once I heard her accent, I started laughing uncontrollably. The lady's accent and her little old lady ways had me weak. I laughed so hard I couldn't even answer her question. My friend came over and told the lady where the street was. Me and my friend walked home. I lived on South Orange Avenue. We didn't know where the old lady was from, but we decided she was a Muslim because she had a headscarf on, and I stumbled on the sidewalk trying to say the word Muslim. And when I said it, it came out like M-U-S-H, like Muslim. And then I started laughing all over again until my stomach hurt. Once I got home, sitting there all alone, I felt bad for laughing at that little old lady and her accent. She was just a little old lady trying to find her way in a new city. It's good to be happy in life, but I was laughing too much. That's when I decided to change myself. Every day I practiced cutting down on my laughing. By the time I turned 18, I had completely stopped my laughing, giggling habit. I could straighten up and be serious. I could still laugh. It was okay to laugh. But I could be serious too when it came time to be serious. I didn't laugh as much as I did before. But I felt I had to do it. I had to get a control of my behavior. I had to grow up.